This demonstration is going to provide a brief overview of the SPie templates and explain the process for adding information to them. For this demonstration, we're going to take a look at the SPie template spreadsheet for bronze doors and frames, and you can see that's open here on the screen now. The information that we're going to discuss, though, is going to apply to all templates that are available. Typically, each workbook contains two tabs. As you can see here where the cursor is, there's an instructions tab, and then there's a product information, which is the same as the name of that particular product. The instructions tab just kind of gives a brief run through as to what the process is for completing information in those cells. We're going to expand on this in this brief demonstration just to kind of make sure everyone is on the same page in terms of what needs to be completed in those fields. So if we just take a look at the actual information field here, the first thing we want to point out is that each reviewer, you make sure that you place your name and your email address in these blue tabs up here at the top of the page. That's important because that's going to allow us to know who did the review, and just in case we need to get in contact with you if we have any questions or if there are any updates in the future, then we'll be able to get in contact with you regarding this. Next thing we want to point out on the spreadsheet, we're just going to kind of do an overview. You'll notice we have, of course, the blue fields, there's gray, there's white, and there's also green fields. So we'll scroll all the way down here to the bottom. Just so you know, the only fields that can be updated by the reviewer are going to be the blue fields and the green fields. The other areas are locked, not to necessarily keep you out of the from editing the standard information, but mainly so that the customized software that's going to be used to push this information to BIM objects later on, these are the locations where it expects to find the information. So that's just going to help us in that aspect. The first thing, let's take a look at this first description up here, the classifications area. The first line item is the US Master Format 2004, and this number, for example, in the bronze doors is 081123. That number now has been added to the file name, and you can see up here at the top of the screen, I'm just pointing that out so that it's easier to navigate through the templates for each of the reviewers. The next line item we want to take a look at here is 13, and basically this is a definition, and this is going to define the object referenced by all the properties in this particular worksheet. And those properties are called out as property sets, and you'll see here P sets, and that's going to define the object that's listed here, or just describe in more detail properties that should be associated with it. So, and really the property sets are in the file, and they provide a way to exchange information attached to the elements or these different building components. And so including any information known about an object helps make the model more useful for our team members later on, and that means throughout the entire process basically. Under property sets, so if we skip down here, this first item for under property sets for the bronze doors, we'll notice there are 3 column headings. There are actually 4, which is going to be the reviewer comments, but these are the main ones that we're going to talk about right now, which are the property names, property description and allowed values, and the property value. So the property name simply identifies a property that you have for an object. The property description and allowed values expands on that name by providing a brief definition if necessary, but the allowed values are important because these values that are placed here, and we'll look at some examples a little later, but any of the values placed here are going to inform us of what can be placed into the property value field. Now, right now in these fields, you'll notice not defined or NA. Those are just simply placeholders right now. And we'll take a look at an example here. Matter of fact, let's take a look at line item number 35 here under the property set door common. And what that really means here is these are property sets for in common with all doors. So if you open up any of the other door template files, you're going to see these same property sets. So back to line item number 35, for example. So the property name is fire rating. Property description is just a list telling us where that's coming from, and it's given according to the National Fire Safety Classification. What we would also have here for allowed values would be potential ratings that you could have for a door. Those could be 0 minutes, 20 minutes, 45 minutes, or 1 hour listed as potential values. So if those were here, then we know that the property value in this field could be either one of those allowed values. And that really, the allowed values and having another value here informs us of what the property value, what type of value it should be. And again, as I mentioned, these are placeholders that are in here. The NA doesn't mean that a fire rating is not applicable to the door object. That just means this is a placeholder, and it's kind of letting us know that something needs to be there. So that's the property value column. One item to make sure we cover clearly is the property description allowed values. Not only when you're providing comments on the allowed values themselves, but what we want to make sure is that the units for these values are consistent. This is going to be extremely important that the units remain the same across the board. For example, in the fire rating example that I just spoke of a few minutes ago, it will be important to note whether or not the rating should be listed as minutes or should it be listed in hours. That way we have the consistency with those, and there's no confusion in terms of how it should be listed once people are starting to add information about an object. Now if we look over here, this green field, and if we scroll up, we see the reviewer comments title is up here at the top. So basically, as I mentioned earlier, the two field types that can be edited are the blue fields and the green fields. So if you come across a line item where you feel that a particular property name or the allowed values don't cover everything, then this is the place where you would add your comments. You can come in, double click in that field, and add any comments you like there to help inform us of what needs to happen or what needs to be added for that particular line item. And basically, if you can, a lot of times what's going to be more helpful to us is if not only you note that more information is needed, but if you can actually list the other values that should be used. That's going to help us a lot more because we understand that you, the reviewers, are actually the experts on the different products contained in the templates. So any inputs you have on the property information is going to be extremely helpful to us. So right now I just kind of want to go through just briefly and kind of take a look at some of the main property sets. And again, we've been looking at the P set door common, which, as I mentioned, those are property sets that are going to be common to all the door templates. You also have, we scroll down to line 54 here,